Hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Just give me a quick second. I accidentally opened OBS. My mistake. I should just take that off. What I should do is move it down here, so I don't accidentally click that. But hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. I have a couple of things I'd like to say before we start. Yesterday, or not yesterday, Monday, the last stream, I was kind of like out of it that stream. I think I hit like a wall, like a writer's block sort of deal, and after the stream, that kind of put me in like a bit of a funk. I don't know what happened there. I'm fine now, but I think, I don't know, I just couldn't focus. I don't know if any of you watched that stream. I think it was obvious that I was kind of like a little spaced out that stream. But I'm feeling a lot more confident about it today. I'm gonna try some new music because I got copyright claimed for the music I was using last time, which again isn't like a big deal. Like what you want to worry about is a copyright strike, but a claim is like I just can't advertise on my VOD, which I can't anyway because I only have 12 subscribers on YouTube. So, which is where I put all my VODs. So I think I found some Twitch safe music. I hope you guys like Japanese lo-fi, aesthetic lo-fi hip-hop. I'm going to try to play it as quietly for myself as I can. Actually, hold on. Let me move over to... Yeah, okay. Turn it on. I think I focus better without music on, personally. I don't think there's any way for me to turn it off completely, or for you to hear it and not me hear it. But go make it a little quiet. I just don't want any like dead air in the background, you know what I mean? I'm trying some new things. The best guarantee is that I just use the music generator, but there's some issues with that. I've worked a little bit on it off stream. You guys can see everything, right? There's a chat. Okay. So I went ahead and filled in the ones that weren't filled in last time, and I wrote a little bit more of the narrative. I won't go over it this stream. Well, I mean, I guess I could go over these. Yeah, I'll go over the bios that I wrote off stream, and then we'll get right into it. We spent a lot of time last stream reading all the story stuff that I wrote. So, I haven't written a substantial amount for that yet for me to go over it, to justify going over it, but I'll read the bios. Also, before we got into everything, I wanted to share a story from work today. I usually don't have anything to talk about from work, but I'm a custodian, right? So I take out trash, and I'd taken out a white garbage bag with like paper and stuff in it yesterday, and I put it in the dumpster. And today it was raining really hard. Like there was a big storm coming through, And I got a call, and the woman that was in the office that she was calling from told me that, hey, did you throw away a bag that was to the left coming in to the office? And I said, yeah. She's like, okay, well, that wasn't trash. There was a grant in there. And I'm like, what? In the trash bag? It's like, yeah, I know, it was in a trash bag. So I don't know why, but it was in a trash bag. But it's very important. I'm like, oh boy. So I had to go dumpster diving today in a half-flooded dumpster because it just finished raining. And I had to fish around in there for a trash bag. Thankfully, it was still there and intact. It was a little wet, but, like, she got it out of there. But, like, who puts an important document like that in a trash bag? And it was tied up and everything. It wasn't, like, open or next to the desk. It was tied up and put off to the side, like, next to the door. It looked exactly like how you'd put out trash for me to take. You know what I mean? So, that happened. That was weird. I guess I'll need to ask from now on. I usually ask, like, hey, is this trash? But the one time I don't, you know, go figure. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. I was just about to get into the work I did off stream. The last stream, we did cremette and ghee. And then I kind of hit a writer's block, but I went ahead and filled them in off stream. So here's, I'll need to reformat this, of course, but here's the ones I did. I think it was Ratleen, Reed, Wendelin. Was it really only 3? I could have sworn. Was it Belhast? No. I did ghee. Ghee I did on stream. Ratleen, Reed, Wendelin. Huh, okay. So, Ratleen de Dinry. School, culinary, nationality, American. Sweats caffeine. I met a man one day as I was walking home. He offered me a thermos for a couple of bucks, and I was thirsty at the time, so I took it off his hands. I drank some, couldn't stop. It was the greatest coffee, no, greatest beverage I've ever had. Something changed in me that day. I had visions. The voices told me, you're Ratleen now, Samantha. You're Ratleen now. I've tried for years, but I haven't recreated that coffee yet. One day it will be done, and when it is, the world will thank me. Ratleen attended the showcase as a festival goer and reportedly spent the entire week in the de Mrs. Bugot Tower of Cooking and Cuisine, trying every available drink option and interrogating staff for ingredient information. Reed Winchester. School, culinary. Nationality, American. Favorite chef, Gosh Liberman. From humble beginnings as the host of his from-home local cooking show, Eatin' with Reed, to the star of Win or Lose on the Eating Channel, Reed has built for himself a respectable career in televised food programming. He is most commonly known for his trademark ability to efficiently mix the contents of several bowls at the same time. According to him, he was born with an unusual bone structure in his hands that allows for the multi-mixing action. Reed was one of the several personalities to host the televised coverage of the Grand Showcase. Wendelin Smith. School, culinary. Nationality, British. Loaves donated, over 100,000. Wendelin's son was diagnosed with celiac disease, a disease that causes various gastrointestinal problems when consuming gluten, at the age of 4. Gluten-free foods became an understandably important part of their diet, but she found that her son was unhappy with the options available to them. Wendelin took up the task of creating her own gluten-free goods that would not only be safe for her son, but also delicious. She eventually formulated her special bread recipe, which was a hit with not only her son, but with her friends as well. Today, Wendelin works closely with charity groups to provide bread and other baked goods to gluten-sensitive individuals in need. She was in Mieus to assist with one such charity event. And hold on. I could have sworn there was another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I guess not. So, that's all the culinary artist done. And as you can see, I've decided to put down the template for all of the remaining artists, of which I think there are 29 to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, 29. Which isn't too bad. The goal today is to get 6 of them done. Any 6. Not necessarily in order. So let's get started. Also, question for the chat. I recently started purchasing bananas. As a snack food. I thought I heard somewhere that eating too many bananas causes problems. I don't know if I'm making that up, but if somebody in chat could confirm that, because they're very delicious. That's quite a few. Well, let's see, 6, 12, 18, 24. Preferably we'd get more than 6 done per stream. But we'll see. So, if I can remember what all of their specialties are, let's try doing one from each school. I think that seems like a decent idea. So, who should we do first? We got Werther, Trajita, Tom, Jeanette, Hegemony, Fuego. Well, Werther actually shows up in the story of the game, so I suppose we can start with him. His specialty is proofreading, and they're high in potassium, so you don't want to overdo that. Gotcha. I did notice that I was like, when you stand up too fast and you go to, I noticed that the other day. I'm like, I should have some potassium in my body. Or fruit in general. I don't really eat that much fruit. I eat I eat Special K cereal with the dried strawberries in it, but that's really all I got. So Werther Moffin, he is his specialty is proofreading. So I imagine he's sort of like an editor, or like an editor-in-chief. But in the story, he's also, he's a fan of Kara's, and he is the librarian in the Babylopticon. If none of those words made sense, that's okay. It'll all make sense eventually. So, like before, there's 2 options we can take. We can either describe what he's doing now or how he came to be who he is as an artist. Also, before I forget, is the music too quiet or too loud? I would personally prefer to keep it on the quieter side. But Werther. Let's see. If he's an editor, then I guess we could ask, what is he an editor for? Does he have his own publishing house? Does he, did he start from a young age? A lot of these characters, their backstories start when they're like children. Just right? Okay, thank you. This is just right for me as well. It's not so distracting. I see the appeal of lo-fi. Usually I'm like, oh, lo-fi hip hop, but this one's working for me. I also need a haircut. I don't know if you can tell. You know, nothing's coming to me for Werther right now. Tom, Janet, Hegemony. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I disabled links on the stream because of you know, bots sometimes come in and post links. So if you could just go ahead and send me a direct message for that link, I'd appreciate that. Because you won't be able to post it in the chat. Werther. Okay. I kind of like the idea of Werther being like, well, he's not like an uptight jerk or anything, but you know, he's very dry, very formal. I imagine he's the kind of person that would be correcting other people's like work, like other people's homework, just, you know, by his own volition. Like, he was the English teacher's favorite person, you know. In grade school, I'm American. I don't say grade school. Well, is intermediate school a thing that's like universal, or is it just America that has the concept of the intermediate school? I feel like that's just an American thing. Because I'm thinking, like, in elementary school, like, well, I guess that would show off how intelligent he is, huh? Well, elementary school isn't a thing in everywhere either. We have to figure out where he's from. This is actually important. In Werther, we have a lot of American characters. It's intermediate or secondary. Okay. Yeah, secondary school. That's what it is. Yeah, because you have primary school, which is elementary school, then secondary school, which in most cases, like I think at least in the UK, secondary school is both what we call intermediate and high school at the same time. I think, like what I was saying, I think it's just America that separates intermediate into its own thing. Like, oh no, like intermediate and junior high is secondary. Is it? I don't know. No, I think what it is, primary school is elementary and intermediate. Secondary is junior high and high school. I think that's what it is. Where did he come from? Where did Werther come from? I don't... We have a lot of British people, and we have a lot of Americans. Which I guess, I mean, statistically, there would be a higher degree of them, right? I mean, Werther. Werther Moffin does sound pretty British, doesn't it? British. In primary school. In primary school, Werther was not known for his creative writing skills. He was, however, renowned for his uncanny mastery of language and grammar. Or, I guess, if he has a mastery of language, then he would be really good at creative writing. Uncanny mastery of grammar. And because the idea I'm trying to get across, he's not very creative. He's not good at writing, like, engaging creative stories. But he can, like, he's really good at the technical aspects of writing, which would be grammar. I guess that's just grammar, right? Uncanny mastery of grammar, spelling and grammar, right? You can be a master speller, right? I mean, that's what spelling bees are for. He was, however, renowned for his uncanny mastery of spelling and grammar. His peers is, that should be S apostrophe. He would often analyze his peers. He would often analyze his peers' work and make corrections. Or he would be compelled to analyze his peers' work, make corrections, simply because he could, or because he wanted to. Those are two very different motivations. If he makes corrections, if he corrects other people's work because he can, then that implies a little bit, I think that has a more negative connotation. But if he makes corrections for people because he wants to, I think that's a more positive sort of vibe. Werther's not supposed to be a bad guy. He'd often be compelled to analyze his peers' work, make corrections simply because you often feel compelled to analyze his peers' work and make corrections. I'll just say, well, if he's already compelled, saying that he's compelled to do something already implies that he's doing it because he wants to, so I don't need to do that. Wanted to? Yeah. We're on the same page here. It makes him more of a positive character. He would often be compelled to analyze his peers' work and make corrections for them. To his instructor's chagrin. I'm pretty sure I'm using that word correctly. I really like the word chagrin. It's one of my favorites. Chagrin. Disquietude or distress of mind caused by humiliation, disappointment, or failure. Okay, I'm not using it correctly, but I like to say it. Much to his instructor's annoyance, I think is a better word. He'll be compelled to analyze his peers' work and make corrections for them to his instructor's annoyance. Werther was asked to Werther was asked to stop a few times by his teacher. That's what I'm trying to get at. Werther was asked to being the other students and allow them to succeed or fail on their own. Persisted. Asked repeatedly. That's good. Asked repeatedly to stop. I was gonna say Werther was asked to stop helping on several occasions, but that's much more efficient. Werther was asked repeatedly to stop helping the other students and allow them to succeed or fail on their own, but he persisted. Werther and his instructors were eventually made a compromise. A system papers. The instructor eventually made a compromise. He would assist them in grading the students' papers. Well, it's not much of a compromise, actually. I'm thinking, because I'm thinking later on he could like become a tutor for his peers, but in primary school I think he's probably too young to be doing tutoring, even if he is smart. You know, probably later on, like in junior high and high school, he would become a tutor, but I'd say that this is probably the best compromise, you know? He's not like doing their work for them, but he's still able to offer his input in a way that makes the teacher happy. So he would assist them in grading the students' papers. Also, failed, but he persisted. His instructor eventually made a compromise. He would assist in grading students' a lot of S apostrophes here. Papers. He would assist them in grading the students' papers. Kids love to grade papers. You know, I don't know if I ever got the opportunity to myself in school. I never graded anybody's papers. But I feel like I like it's one of those things that I know is true, but I've never seen it in person because I've never graded papers as a student, and I've never watched somebody do it. But like it just sort of makes intuitive sense, I guess. I don't know. Is like I was never principal for the day or anything like that. So or like a substitute's assistant or whatever. I don't even think that was an option, but yeah. Doesn't happen often. System bringing the student. Yeah, this seems like a pretty unusual circumstance. It's probably something like, you know, like GT stuff, sort of that realm. The instructor eventually made a compromise. He would assist them in grading the students' papers. Up until secondary school, where he... Okay. Hold on. Secondary school is high school, right? A school that is intermediate in level between elementary school and college. Usually offers general, technical, vocational, college, preparatory. Okay. So it's like high school. We have it right. We had it right, chat. Papers up until secondary school, where he began to offer services as a tutor. As a tutor. He began to offer services as a grammar tutor, which he excelled at. Where he began to offer services as a grammar tutor, which he excelled at. I guess I could say at which he excelled. Ultimately, translate his grammar and career as a editor. Okay. As an editor, where do you an editor would work for the publishing house, right? Or is an editor like its own separate practice, like a lawyer? Editor jobs? How does that work? Book editor. I assume that professional. What is the edit? I guess. Like you'd think that there would be a difference between, like, textbook editor and like a novel editor. Maybe. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. Professional, I'm gonna say professional textbook editor, because he's not like a creative writer. He's more technical. Any kind of writing can be edited. Well, I know that, but like, are they separate jobs is the thing. Like, are they, because you need a different skill set to be an editor for a novel, like a creative piece of fiction, than you would an editor for a textbook, like a technical, clinical piece of writing, you know? So, newspapers, magazines, books, etc. I'm going to say he's a textbook editor. Into a career as a professional textbook editor. Were there accepted the or were there chat is very delayed? Yeah, maybe. I think that's like, are you talking about like my chat box that's on the side of the stream? Like, you type something in Twitch and then it shows up on, that would be on this side, shows up on this box like a few seconds later. I don't know if that's Twitch or Chatterino, which is my box over here. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying. A friend of Werther's offered the position of the Opticons. It takes a bit for it to get to you, like 15 to 30 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'll need to look into that. I don't know if there's a way to fix that on my end. I need to check, because that's very delayed. A friend of Werther's was offered the position of librarian in the Babel Opticons library. To the opportunity to Werther. I keep trying to spell it with a WH. They extended the opportunity to Werther, who took it. That just seems like pretty abrupt. They extended the opportunity to Werther. to accept. They extended the opportunity to Werther, who gladly obliged. I think that works. Are the bios this elaborate for all the characters? They vary in length. This is probably like around the maximum length. I just happen to have a solid idea for this character in particular. But some of them are pretty short. Like this one's pretty short. This one's very short. You know, so they're not all this elaborate. As well as this is a character that's directly mentioned in the story. So I had they're a little bit more solidified in my mind. But I guess the short answer is no. They're not all this elaborate. I try to give a little. So most of them are just for like fun flavor, you know. This isn't like Kingdom Hearts lore or anything like that. Okay, so literature, British. I want to put like a little fun thing here. Like this is the little like flavor text, right? Like what's their favorite chef? You know, what's their favorite pizza topping? Or like a little caption for them, like a little subtitle. For some reason, this is always the hardest part to figure out. Like after everything, you'd think it'd be easier after writing all this. I like that idea. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. These have been fun to do. The game itself that this is attached to is largely finished, or like the current version of it, like the beta version, I guess you could say, is finished. I'm getting it ordered to me, or I'm getting it shipped to me soon. But so none of this is necessary, but it's fun. I like it. Werther. There's no H. Werther. What's you know, favorite something? Does he have a superlative? Oh, you know what? You know what would be favorite word? Somebody like this has to have a favorite word, right? Or like a favorite part of speech. What based on Werther's vibe, what do you think his favorite word is, chat? I'd like to hear what you think about this, cuz I have some favorite words of my own, like chagrin, or what's another good one? Paradox, I think, is a classic. Oh man, there's one on the top of my head that I can't think of. What is it? Every time I say it, I'm like, oh, I really like that word, but I can't think of it right now. It's kind of weird. I feel like it has like some sort of weird spelling. Like betwixt. That's a good one. I like the word I mentioned earlier, chagrin. Chagrin is fun. Yeah, I can see that there's a delay, because you typed that a while ago. Favorite word? Would he have a favorite word or a favorite part of speech? That's a little too dorky, huh? It's like, I really love adjectives. Chagrin. He loves chagrin. Okay, nice. So, I'll be honest. Like a favorite word, chagrin works. Fave word is better. It's 6:45 and we've only done one, but that's okay. We're having a good time. I will be doing some of these off stream, so I guess we're not in like a big rush or anything like that. I get my copy to me on May 20th. Or April, May. Yeah, May 20th. So I have at least until then. Or that's the deadline I'm giving myself to get all these done. Okay, so let's move on to the next school. So these are the martial artists. We've got Cash Money Ragado. He's like well, all these are fighters, but I imagine he's sort of like an MMA sort of guy. Lysaea the Second. If any of you have ever played Street Fighter, she's kind of like sort of like the Ryu archetype. Like she's always fighting, get it stronger. But she has like this evil. She has sort of like this dark energy that she has going for her. There are some supernatural elements in this story. So she has like a chi power. Martial artist, awesome. Yeah, I see the game is about like artists, right? And there are 7 schools of art. And I hesitated on including martial arts as a school of art, but I think it more than deserves to be a category of artistic expression, you know. And at least like at the very least it adds a 7th one and it sort of rounds it out. I wanted to have punchy people in the game, you know. Master O, I think he's a kickboxer. He has the title of the strangest looking character art in the game. Mostly because he's the only character whose feet appears in their art. Fun fact. With fists and with the mind. Yeah. There's what is it called? It's the where they strike all those poses and they go and they I think it's called it's jeez, what's it called? I think it's a thing in Taekwondo. I don't remember, but I mean that's almost like it is pretty much a performance, like a form of performing arts. Umar Uldi is a grappler, like an ancient wise grappling master. Sergeant Mulaney, he's a military sergeant. Zagais Isasts is, what does he do? Katas. Wait, katas? That's not the word I found, but that also is true. Hold on. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it. Let me see. It's one of the cards in the game. For those in chat that don't know how this game works, right? You have artists, which in magic terms are your creatures, right? And then you have works, as in works of art, which are the which are like spells that the artists use. And one of them is Hyong. Hyong. Hyeong. Hyong. That's the word I was thinking of. But kata is also true. I've heard kata before. Okay, so let's choose one of these characters and write a bio for him. Images, artists. I need to remember what Zagais does. Zagais. He's also a grappler. He specifically his specialty is toss around. So he's like, he throws people. I don't know if grappling and throwing are like sort of in different categories of martial arts, but yeah. Fun fact. Zagais. I named him Zagais Isasts because originally his specialty was to like I think it was like solid stance, and he would be able to, his flavor was that he put people off balance. So I tried to give him a name that was really hard to say, so it felt like saying his name in and of itself was like putting you off balance. the meaning is kind of lost now that his design is different, but that's a fun fact for you. Let's do cash money. Let's do cash money Rogado. Good fun fact. I think it's quite enjoyable. An enjoyable fact. A titillating tidbit, if you will. Okay. So Cash Rogado. Cash Rogado's specialty is cripple. He's like a bare knuckle fighter. Like a bare what would it be? MMA isn't bare knuckle, right? I mean, it could be. But he's pretty much like, you know, he's pretty brutal in the ring. He's known for his brutality when he fights. Bad dude? Maybe. I mean, maybe. At least an anti-hero. So, what's his thing? How did he become such a furious fighter? I kind of want now giving him the nickname Money was another chat member's idea in another stream. I think it would be really funny if he hates that nickname. Like, he absolutely hates people calling him Cash Money. But like his what would you call it? Like, his agent is like, you have to. It's your brand now. So what if his backstory had something to do with, like, people kept calling him this stupid nickname and it made him, like, really annoyed. Like, really, really annoyed. Like, he punched some guy. He was like, huh, I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at punching people. You know, might as well get paid for what you're good at, right? And now, you might be asking, why didn't he just change his name? That'd be a good question. He could have just simply not thought about it. Or he tried to get his name changed, but at that point, it was already too late. They called him Money anyway. You could say that he got a refund, you know, on his name. Right. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that delay. Sometimes people will say things, and I've forgotten what I said 15 seconds ago. So I'm not sure exactly what you're saying right to, but I'll agree with you anyway. My mind has to be both in the present and in the past at the same time. Refund. Oh, okay. Rogado. Rogado is a... Is there any martial art that you can legally fight bare knuckle? I mean, there's bare knuckle boxing. Rogado is a bare knuckle boxer. It's a bare knuckle boxer. Infamous for his brutal fighting style. Martial arts, open hand fighting. That is true, like palm strikes. Like pow, 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 like slapping people. Or it could be that he's an MMA fighter, but like on the side he does some bare knuckle boxing. Palm knife. Oh yeah, like give him the chop chop. Give him the old chop chop. Is bare knuckle boxing legal? Safer? Professional bare knuckle boxing was never legal under any federal or state laws until Wyoming became the first to legalize it in 2018. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess it is legal in some states. Oh, okay. It's only legal in Wyoming. Okay, so I guess he's from Wyoming now. That solves that. We have another American on the team, but with a name like Cash, I mean, what were we gonna expect? We have law lore now. So that's the legalization of the sport in his home state, Wyoming, 2018. He's a bare knuckle boxer infamous for his brutal fighting style. Since the legalization of the sport in his home state, Wyoming, in 2018. Feared his competitors. Well, I guess maybe infamous for his brutality. Must head out, like the martial arts. Well, thank you for coming to the stream. I appreciated having you. I hope you have a good one. Ragado's a bare knuckle boxer infamous for his brutality. Since the legalization of the sport in his home state, Wyoming, in 2018, he has become feared amongst his competitors. My secret is that I fight angry. My secret. I just get mad. You gotta be angry. My secret is that I just get mad. You gotta be angry to fight bare knuckle. I'll be back like a stealth martial artist. All right. Well, good luck doing whatever you gotta do. I'll be here till 8 o'clock. So I enjoy having you. Sayonara. You gotta be angry to fight bare knuckle. I just get mad. You gotta get angry to fight bare knuckle. You gotta get angry to fight bare knuckle, but no one does it better than me. But why is he angry? That's the question. He's like, I got no secret. I just get mad. You gotta get angry to fight bare knuckle, but no one does it better than me. He's from Wyoming. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Maybe that's why he's angry, because he lives in Wyoming. My secret is that I got no secret. Just get mad. You gotta get angry. I want it to have something to do with his name, but how do you do that organically? How do you work that in? No one does it better than me. I'm not being called money by his mates. Which irritated him greatly. At one point, he punched a boy over it. At one point, he claims his anger stems from when he was growing up being called money by his classmates, which irritated him greatly. At one point, who had uttered the moniker wait, that should be T-O-O. One too many times. Who had uttered the moniker one too many times. I didn't have money growing up. I didn't have money growing up. didn't have money growing up. I took it as an insult. It wasn't me. It is now, but it wasn't then. Still hate it, though. Still hate it, though. It's just so obvious. It's just such an obvious joke. Why does he hate it? I think it's just because it's like... money. Cash. Money. There's an ant. There's an ant in my content chamber. I didn't have money growing up. I took it as an insult. It wasn't me. It is now, but it wasn't then. Still hate it, though. Everyone thinks they're so damn clever. You're not. Ragado is a bare-knuckle boxer infamous for his brutality. Since the legalization of the sport in his home state, Wyoming, in 2018, he has become feared amongst his competitors. My secret is that I got no secret. I just get mad. You gotta get angry to fight bare-knuckle, and no one does it better than me. He claims his anger stems from when he was growing up, being called money by his classmates, which irritated him greatly. At one point, it drove him to punch a boy who had uttered the moniker one too many times. I didn't have money growing up. I took it as an insult. It wasn't me. It is now, but it wasn't then. I still hate it, though. Everyone thinks they're so damn clever. You're not. I like that. Love it so far? Thank you. This is going better than my last stream, for sure. I feel a lot more focused today. Ragado entered the interdisciplinary tournament at the Grand Showcase. Ragado entered the interdisciplinary tournament at the Grand Showcase. But disqualified himself? You can just quit a tournament, right? The idea is that he entered the tournament, but they made him like wear gloves, and he didn't want to do that, so he quit. So he bowed out. Ragado entered the interdisciplinary tournament at the Grand Showcase. But bowed out. What's the word? Quit? Quit doesn't seem like... Because he didn't start. He didn't start fighting. And he didn't disqualify himself because he didn't do anything wrong. He just chose not to go. But he canceled? told he had to wear gloves. Ragato entered the interdisciplinary tournament at the Grand Showcase, but canceled on arrival after being told he had to wear gloves. I think that works. Oh, no. Let's not turn autosave on. I don't want to sign in. I'm afraid to sign in because I don't even know where I got this copy of Word from. I think it's like an Office suite or something. Like my family's on one account. But I feel like there was supposed to be like a trial. Like this is supposed to be like a trial version. I'm supposed to renew it or something. But like I've just had this for what, like I don't know, 7 years or something. I'm afraid to sign in. It'll be like, we just updated the status of your Microsoft Office account, and we saw that you haven't renewed in 7 years, so you can no longer use Word. Marshall, nationality, American. Favorite fighting stance? I was gonna say something like broken fingers, 8. Lost count. Favorite fighting stance? I feel like Cash doesn't necessarily focus on technique. Like I feel like he doesn't have very solid technique. He's more so just like a street fighting. You know what I mean? He could have a favorite fighter. I don't know many fighters. I could just make one up though. Favorite place to fight? The back alley. I like to fight on the roof during a thunderstorm. Or it could be something like comically contrasting to his personality. Like favorite animal? Panda. You know, something stupid like that. I can't. Favorite color? Green. He's just like, oh, you know what? That would make sense. Because cash money, you know? Money is green. Favorite color? Green. That's a good one. I've been saving favorite color for something because, you know, that's like the obvious one. I think that's a good enough as any, you know, artist to use it on. I mean, I can repeat the same one again later, like favorite color for another one. But yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Usually I normally move to the next one, but Lysaea the second, I think, will be pretty easy. Because in the narrative, Lysaea the second is a very mysterious person, and I think that because this whole journal, like this whole thing, is written in universe by one of the characters in the world of the story, right? So it's implied that the author of this collection of biographies obtained all this information from these artists, from them, right? So I think in Lycea's case, she wouldn't be available for comment because she doesn't want to talk about herself. Also, I do have plans for Lycea the Second in the story. So I think I'll keep her mysterious. Nationality, though. She can be from anywhere. I don't want to use Britain or America. I'm kind of thinking like a smaller European nation. You know. Or was it? We haven't used any African nations yet. Or I mean, she could be from Australia. We have people from Central America, North America, Asia, Europe. No one from Africa or South America or Australia yet. I kind of, now that I'm saying it out loud, I kind of like the idea that she's from Australia. Germany? I think we have some other Germans on the roster here. But I'm pretty solidly sold on Australia for her. Because I think Australia as well is like, you know, it has a sort of mysticism about it, you know, which sort of lends to her mysterious nature. I think that could play into that rather well. Lycea the Second, mate. You drongo. You drongo. You dingo. Not much is known of. Not much is known of Lycea outside of our country of origin. Calls herself the Second Queen. She calls herself the Second Queen, and wields a terrifying power with which she fights. She fights. As the id fist style. Not much is known of Lycia outside of her country of origin. She calls herself the Second Queen and wields a terrifying power with which she fights, which she dubs as the id fist style. That is dubious. She has been spotted wandering, not the outback. Reportedly, she has been spotted wandering the coast. Seeking challengers. For the world. Not much is known of Lycia outside of her country of origin, and even that is dubious. Reportedly, she has been spotted wandering all over the world, seeking challengers. But do you capitalize outback when talking about the region of Australia? The outback is her home. She calls herself the Second Queen and wields a terrifying power with which she fights, which she dubs as the id fist style. Like, is outback a proper noun? I imagine it's similar to saying, like, the country. Do you capitalize outback? Okay, no, you don't capitalize it. All over the world seeking challengers, but claims that the outback is her home. She calls herself the Second Queen and wields a terrifying power with which she fights, which she dubs as the id fist style. And the Showcase. Most Aussies don't use the term outback? Really? What do they say instead? What do they call it? The bush? I've heard that too. They call it the bush. Live out in the bush. I'm a bushman. Well, you know, that could just add to another layer of intrigue. She claims she's from the outback. But a true Aussie knows. We don't call it the outback. So where's she really from? And why would she pick Australia? She dubs it the fist style. Very convincingly. Just a tournament at the grand showcase and won very convincingly. Was that another word? She was offered best in discipline for martial arts, but declined. Good. Okay, good. I think this lo-fi music stuff is really great for this purpose. It's sort of a meme, I think, lo-fi hip hop, but it works. Optimal music for writing too. Okay. So next up is the musical school. We have Amabeli Tutlio, Brent Karanope, Emmy Warble, Ottawa Stefane, Raymac Rhodes, and the ostentatious Rib. He's one of my faves. His art is horrible. He probably has the worst character art in the entire game, but I don't have the heart to change it. It's iconic. Which, it doesn't make any sense since this game kind of technically doesn't exist yet. How can it be iconic? But it's iconic to me. Brent Karanope is the one that sort of speaks to me. So, Brent, Outback as a word has its origins in the U.S. Wow. You learn something new every day, huh? Kind of neat. I did not know that. The Outback. I guess that makes sense. That seems like something Americans would call rural Australia. I'm pretty sure Aussies normally call it the bush. So I'm gonna go with Brent Kiernope here. So Brent Kiernope, he is Irish. Brent Kiernope. He's Irish, and his specialty is leitmotif. Fun fact. Another fun fact about names here. Brent Kiernope is based on the real composer Grant Kirkhope, who I'm pretty sure he's British, but for the sake of diversity here, Brent is going to be Irish. But Grant Kirkhope is a notable video game composer known for working on Banjo-Kazooie, among other things. If anybody in chat knows Banjo-Kazooie, then yeah, Grant Kirkhope is the guy who wrote all the music. And, you know, in that game, a lot of the songs are like the same melody and everything, but like with different instrumentation and changed up around, you know, to sound different, which is basically what a leitmotif is. So Brent Kiernope, he's an expert in the leitmotif. So I'm gonna say that probably as with his inspiration is going to be it could either be a film composer or a game composer, because you don't really use leitmotifs in any other medium, right? Well, I mean, I guess you could use them. You could use leitmotifs in an album of music, but it's not really as prominent, I think. I don't think I can say the word Nintendo. I don't think I can use the name Nintendo in my own work here. Not that they'd be aware of this project, but those Nintendo ninjas, they know how to get you. Brent. How did he come to be? Is he a film composer or a games composer? He could be both, I guess. Another one of my favorite video game composers' names is David Bergode, and he started in film. He predominantly does film, but he's also the composer of the Ratchet and Clank games, which are my favorite games of all time, by the way. Call it Tendonin, an anagram of Nintendo. Tendonin. I like that idea. The Tendonin 86, the famous console, with such hits as Mark EO. So maybe Brent starts in film, and then he's recognized for like a short film, and then he gets his big break making or composing music for a Tendonin game. Nintendo What other anagrams can we make? Tendonin. No. No Ted. No Tedent. Does that even work? Nintendo. Wait. Nindotin. Nindotin. Tendoden. De. 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 Toenin. De Toenin. But wait, aren't there 3 N's in Nintendo? Yeah, so Detoenin. Dentoenin. Dotenin. We're an anagram stream now. I think I like the oe sound. It sounds Japanese. The oe. Like Koei Tecmo, kinda. No way. No way. What? Id. Nin. I'm losing track of the letters. No way. Id. Id10. Nin. 10. Do. Wait. Nin. 10. I think I'm using too many letters. There's only one E. Do. Nin. Needs an N. And another N. There's 3 N's. Nin. 10. Do. Well, no way id 10. I guess it doesn't have to be a perfect anagram. I kind of like the name No Way id 10. It kind of sounds like Pig Latin a little bit, but I feel like No Way id 10 sounds pretty Japanese. We'll go with that. I appreciate your anagram contributions. I think this is a good endpoint here. Yeah, see that's the beauty of it, you know. Sometimes you gotta pursue a line of thinking, even if it doesn't seem like, you know, the initial idea is what you wanna settle on. Pursuing that line of thinking often introduces different branches off of that you can like latch onto. Be like, okay, how do we take this permutation and, you know, run along that like branch there, you know. His career in composing music began with I should start with Brent, right? Hold on. Brent's career in composing music began with short films that he and his friends would put together on weekends. Was their composer at from Draw of the Hat. He was chosen as their composer from a random draw of the hat. Their role draw from an actual hat? Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, everybody's got at least one hat lying around. They would randomly draw names a hat. Choose production roles. Somehow 20 plus. I don't know who you could be talking about. Yeah, some people have 20 plus hats. Some people have a few. Yeah. But you know what? I bet they need every single one of them. For every occasion. Per basis. Sounds oddly familiar. Maybe. Art imitates life, you know? For context, me and my friends, when we were younger, along with my brother and his friends, we would just sort of like record like short, like just dumb improvised movies. When you know, when we just felt like it, like, hey, let's shoot something in the backyard. We never put any music to it. We always used like free music, you know. So Brent here is Brent and his friends are a little bit more extra than we were, but I think it could be plausible. Liking to music making. His first works were elementary. What's the most basic form of making music? I don't know if you remember this. I had a game on the SNES called Mario Paint. I'm sure some people in chat know of Mario Paint, but Mario Paint came with a composing feature where you could like make music on like a bar staff. And it was a pretty basic in functionality, but I imagine it was probably a lot of people's first introduction to making music. So that might work. I can't use Mario Paint though. On a Note 10 console called what's a good bootleg name for Mario? Marty? Mardio? I mean, it could also be based on Luigi's name. Maybe in this universe, Luigi is the boss. He's the player one. Luigi, Luis, Mateo. That's a good one. On Mateo Composer Studio. One raider from Gaia Glass? Whoa. Hold on. That's my first raid for the stream. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you, Gaia Glass, for the raid. Hello, welcome to the stream. This is very exciting. This is unprecedented. You have the honor of being my first raider. How's that? Right now, we're working on I'm writing character bios for characters in my card game. You've caught me at the end of the stream, but we're gonna try to get at least this one done. So feel free to hang out for the next 10 minutes because I gotta end the stream at 8 o'clock tonight. But do stick around because I'll be raiding a friend of mine at the end. Yeah, sorry. I have work in the morning, so I can't stream till like really late. But yeah. Called. I just stopped writing myself. Oh, nice. What you working on? Composer Studio and recorded it. Yes. Television. What time zone am I in? Dissertation. Oh, a little, you know, a bit of a different vibe than the creative writing I'm doing here. But well, good luck on your dissertation. That's now if you correct me if I'm wrong, but dissertation is for like a that's for a master's degree, right? Central. Yeah, central time zone. Thank you, Wolf. I'm in the central time zone. But yeah, good luck on that dissertation. That sounds really important. And I recorded off of his television. Game for the Super Noe id 10 console called Mateo Composer Studio, and then recorded. Which were created on a game for the Super Noe id 10 console called Mateo Composer Studio. That's why it sounded weird. I forgot where first works were created and then recorded off of his television. PhDs do it too, right? Yeah. Well, that's very exciting for you. I hope that works out for you. And then recorded off of his television. Over time, he became more ambitious. It's been a real kicker, I'd imagine. I've only gone to college through my associate's degree, so I can't necessarily relate to you know, doing a dissertation or anything like that. But I just want to end school. That I can relate to a little bit. Became more ambitious until the small pay. Composer. That grad students get. Oh, yeah. Permanently his. Academia is so stressful. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that eventually you'll, you know, you'll find something that you like to do. Oh, but I like the stuff I do. Well, there you go. There you go. That's what you really want to, you know, that's what you want to strive for. You want to do what you like. So, that's good. The role became permanently his. His breakout performance? I guess that's not the right word. Was his breakout project was a short. Speaking of game makers. Oh, is that what you do? You a game designer, programmer? You should play the game my brother made. Oh, nice. Breakout project was a short movie. A plant virologist. Wow. Yeah, that's above my pay grade. But sounds pretty neat. I don't know if I've ever heard plant virologist before, like those two things combined into one. Project was I need a name for a movie. I need a name for like a art house short film. LOL. Yeah. I'm just I'm a listen. I'm a streamer and I'm a custodian. So, I'm not like a I'm not a a big academic person, but, you know, I can appreciate the fields. His game is called Odium Arena. Is it a card game? Breakout project was Creative Mind. Well, thank you. I'll just name of film. Well, thank you, Glass. I appreciate that. I mean, you've only been in the stream for 7 minutes, but I appreciate that. What was name of film? Say project. His breakout is a college film called. I have a creative mind too. I think it doesn't fit well with the typical academic. Character building, interesting names. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. It's you know, it's nice to hear from a stranger, I guess. Was a college film since he has provided his talent. If you provide your artistic talent to an independent project, is it still an independent project? Because they asked you for your help. I guess it is. Yeah, it still is. He has provided his talent to independent films and since has provided his talent to independent films. Did I spell it wrong? Independent. Wait, are there two different spellings? Okay, I thought that was like one of those things like there's European independent and then like American independent. Theatrical production. He's provided his talent to independent films as well as... You know, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you could be a composer for I guess I've never considered that before. You could be a composer for like oh, you know, I think we're thinking of different things. I was thinking of like theater, like on stage theater. I think what you're talking about is like big budget movies. He's provided his talent to independent films and theatrical productions alike. Thinking on stage. We were thinking alike. I do like both of those ideas though. Like, he provides his talent to both independent films. Well, I don't know. I kind of like keeping this character as sort of like a kind of like he prefers to work on smaller independent stuff, you know? Like, I feel like he doesn't have much interest in doing big budget stuff. So let's say, and since he has provided his talent to independent films as well as films, games, even some live theatrical productions. What about being a composer for children's shows? Like on television? That's kind of, I don't know. Maybe like local broadcast stuff? Off Broadway? Huh. These are good suggestions. These are good suggestions. Like PBS. There's time to independent films, games. I think I'm gonna. I think I'll replace live theatrical productions with even some local television programming. I think it's a bit more interesting. Plus, we could use those details for another character later because we still have a lot of characters to go through. So here's the first part. Brent's career in composing music began with short films that he and his friends would put together on weekends. They would randomly draw names from a hat to choose production roles on a per-project basis. Brent was decent at all of them, but took a liking to music making. His first works were created on a game for the Super Noe id 10 console called Mateo Composer Studio, then recorded off of his television. Over time, he became more ambitious until the composer role became permanently his. His breakout project was a college film called Name of Film, and since then, he has provided his talent to independent films, games, and even some local television programming. The background music for his friend's Paris theme cafe. Have to go to bed? Okay. I'll lurk. Well, the stream is probably period after name of film. His breakout project was name of film. Hold on. Okay. There are a lot of chat messages. Let me see. Oh, the background music for his friend's Paris theme cafe. Okay, I have to go. Good night. I'll lurk. A period after name of film. His breakout project stands firmly by itself in that sentence. His breakout project was a college film called Name of Film. And then, since then, he has provided his talent. Yeah, you're right. That does sound better. Thank you, Gaia. Or Glass. I don't know which one you'd prefer. Since then, he has provided his talent to independent films, games. His first, the structure of this sentence. I'll finish this one and then I'll raid my friend. His first works were created on a game for the Super Noe id 10 console called Mateo Composer Studio. So the problem with that sentence is that it sounds like I'm saying the console is called Mateo Composer Studio, but the console is called the Super Noe id 10, and the game that he's playing on it is called Mateo Composer Studio. So I need to restructure the sentence somehow so that's clear. His first works were created on a game called... Okay, on a game called... Control X. Control C, Control V. On a game called Mateo Composer Studio for the Super Noe id 10 console. His first works were created on a game called Mateo Composer Studio for the Super Noe id 10 console and then recorded off of his television. On a game for the... Yeah, okay. That's basically That's basically what we just did here. That sounds a lot better. I also need the name of the film. Because, well, I mean, it could be just be called Name of Film. That's very art housey, isn't it? I kind of like keeping it just Name of Film. That's that. Yeah, that's appropriately quirky, I think. And then finally explain why he's there in Meius. Um. Mm, he could be there for the festival, or or just visiting. I don't think they're all here for the festival. He could just be, you know, in town. Well, if you're Irish and you're in Italy, then surely you're there for a good reason, right? Um, for context, um, the game takes place in a fictional country called Mieus, which is a city-state in Italy, and it's centered around this big art festival. Like you can essentially think of it as the World's Fair, but for art. If you know, I mean, I know there's art already at the World's Fair, but still, kind of on that scale. So why was he there at the festival, or at the grand showcase as it's called? Um, well, if he does film, then he could easily be there to watch the premiere, or the screening of a film, right? The grand showcase to see the screening of Name of Film 2. Brent attended the grand showcase to see the first screening of just anybody in chat want to give me just a random film name off the top of their head to fill in here? It could really be anything. I could just start saying words, I guess. Wearing the final. I don't think that's going anywhere. Attend the grand showcase to see the first screening of alarming how do you even follow up on alarming? We're screwing of alarming the willows. that's I don't know where that came from. I was plumbing the depths of my subconscious for that one. Brent attended the grand showcase to see the first screening of Alarming the Willows. His latest scored film. His latest scored film. You can... That makes sense, right? It sounds a little clunky. Brent attended the grand showcase to see the first screening of Alarming the Willows, his latest scored film. No, that makes sense. And then finally, little blurb here, little flavor blurb. We could do like favorite movie. Well, there's an actual movie director, artist character in the game, so we'll save that for that one. Brent Kiernope. Favorite instrument I want to save for something else as well. Favorite score? How would you even tell somebody what your favorite score is? I guess you'd be like, my favorite score is the one from said movie. Like, my favorite score is the score of Batman The Dark Knight Rises or something like that, you know? I don't know. What are you asking me? School, musical, nationality, Irish. Again, this is always this is always the hardest part because there's so many options. Oh, who are you, Brent? What's your favorite thing, Brent? I could just do favorite color again. Brent Kiernope. Favorite drink? Oh, because he's Irish? Come on now, Wolf. I'm just kidding. Favorite body part? I mean, we could just do something unrelated. I prefer it to be related to it somehow. What's unique to him? I think the thing that's unique to him is how he started playing music, which is using the game, the composer game, right? So maybe like his maybe like his favorite console. Because I don't think there are any other gamers. Any other characters in the game that are related to video games. So I'll say favorite console. $64. What's 64 times 2? 128. The Noid 10 128. A little bit of a cheeky reference to the Nintendo 64. The Tendonin 96. Or we could do like the... When did the Nintendo 64 come out? Because we could do like the year. Nintendo 64 release date. It was released in 97. Wait. It was released in... Well, actually, it was released in 1996. In Japan, at least. So, how about that? I'll go with the Noe Id 96. I like that. Okay. So, in review, chat, we went a little over time, but that's okay because we were finishing this up. But we finished Brent Kiernope, Lysaea II, Cash Money Ragado, and Werther Moffin today. So we didn't reach our goal of 6 today, but I think I am satisfied with what we did do. I don't regret taking as much time as I did on these because I think these ended up being really good. So let me turn off the music here. And I'll go ahead and close out our stream for today. Well, thank you. I enjoyed you being here. It's always more fun to have somebody to talk to. I mean, I'd be here regardless of whether I'm talking to myself or not. But it is nice to have you guys here. So, thank you for being here. So, that's the end. Once again, thank you everybody for coming to the stream, for listening or watching, or however you're enjoying. I hope you enjoyed, because I did. I think I had this felt like a really good stream today, which is a far cry from Monday. I think the music, it sounds weird, but I think the music choice really helped a lot. It was really good. I'll have to use that from now on. Yep. Now we made great progress today. Well, not great progress, but we did some good stuff today. That I'm happy with. We will be doing the same thing. We'll be continuing this on Friday. On Friday, same time. It'll be 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Friday. And that would be, what was it? You said Central Time, right? Because I live in Texas, so I'm pretty sure that's Central Time. So 9 to 6 Central Time. We'll be doing some more bios. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Right now, what's going to happen is that I am going to go ahead and raid my friend Asiric. He is streaming currently. Right now he is streaming Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 1. He just finished playing Elden Ring, so he's trying out the other Souls games. So if you're interested in that, he would really appreciate the support. I'd really appreciate you giving him your support. He's starting, I think this is his fourth or fifth stream. So yeah, give him some love. Raid Asiric. I always have to double check. Asiric. Don't worry. So if you've never participated in a raid before, Wolf, I type in his name, and then you guys get sent over to his channel after a few seconds. So you don't have to worry about it. But it is, I think it's AESYRIC_. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and raid. So once again, thank you everybody for being here. I hope to see you on Friday. But until then, good night and have a good Friday. All right. Cheers.